Welcome to Finders Fayre. We're here today to tell you about our next contemporary local artist show series, what we call Class, and it's going to be opening December the 3rd, the first Thursday here at the Mildred Building, and it will run through the next first Thursday, which will be January the 7th. And we're really hoping you can come out and meet in person our next artist, who is Gina Garcia. And she's here with us today to talk a little bit about her art. Hi, Gina.
Hi.
First of all, we're so glad you could come and talk to us and kind of tell us a little bit about what you do.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited for the show. I have a lot of wonderful new projects underway, and this is one of the first pieces I did. It came together really nicely. It's got loads of texture and color. I feel like my work has transitioned a lot and my movements are a lot more deliberate. And I really enjoy making this piece. It had a really good foundation and build up, and I think all the colors really work together, really make it a nice strong feel.
Color is so important.
Mm-hmm.
How long did it take you to do a piece like this?
Well, since I have to work, you know, to get the different texture and stuff, I have to kind of work in little shifts because I've got to like build it up and let it dry. So I guess it probably took me about 6 to 8 days to complete it all.
Now, you have a very full life. You have 2 children, you have jobs, and you do your art. You have a studio, your own studio at the art studio here in Beaumont.
Yeah, I run space at the art studio.
And so you work a good part of the week on your art. But that's not everything in your life. So, and you also are a very strong woman of faith. And all that kind of comes through in your art, that this isn't just, you know, sometimes you see things and you wonder about the depth of the person behind it, but you have a lot going on in your whole being that kind of comes through in your art. And like this texture thing, this is very interesting because it adds so much to the painting.
Yeah, I think it just really ties it all together. I like it because it creates, you know, a lot more movement in the work. And like this is actually has a mate, which we'll see in a moment. And I kind of like created this big bird, like a big albatross, like emerging.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. It was like real strong. Like even right when I laid it out, I knew that was my focal point. That's what I was building around. It had such a strong presence, and it appeared in this painting as well as in another that we're about to see. But this one, it doesn't have as much texture as some of my pieces, but I think that the color made it allow it to stand stronger where I didn't have to add so much paint. I just really think that this piece on its own is very, very strong, and I really like all the effects, all the different movement up and throughout it. There's just, it's very delicate because of the paper, so I have to be real careful and not to tear it and not to, you know, it's really hard because as I work, I just use so many different things, and I'm not really, some of it's just trial and error, so I don't really know how it's going to affect the paper, but this time it all came together perfect.
It sure did. When you're finished with a piece, do you know you're finished?
Yeah, I just work until I feel like an emotional connection, and I feel that other people are going to have like, you know, they'll feel something too.
Are you ever tempted to go back and add to something after you finished it?
That's how these little guys appeared. All these different little like etchings and stuff. I go back and I try to just do like little ones. That way I don't like alter it too much. Like I knew it was almost done, but still it's like you don't want to overkill. So when I do, I just kind of like add extra etchings or add some more of these little details that I do.
So at this stage, would you go back and do something else to it?
No, this one's finished.
That's what I wanted to know.
I just have to go and touch up the frame a bit.
So is the framing an important part of your work?
I didn't frame any of the pieces for my other show at High Street, but I think as my work grew, I kind of liked the way the frames tie it all together. My friend Carlo Buscemi, he was like very adamant and talked to me. He's such a good artist, and you know I always take anything he says to heart. And he was like, "You have to get a good frame on it, just really tie it together." And when I did, I was just like, He was so right. It really,
Wonderful.
it makes it a bit stronger.
Okay. Good for that section. Gina, this piece you said is a companion piece to the one we were just looking
Oh,
at.
no, that one was the control.
Oh, this one was.
That
Okay.
one was.
So, well, this is more, to me, is more interesting. Can we talk about
Yeah,
this
let's
one?
talk about
All right.
this one first.
So, is this basically the same media?
Yes, this is did a different texturing with the paper, and I also used the different types of paint. I used the silk screening paint and the fabric paint, as well as acrylic and spray paint on this. And this is also on the masonite. It's good and strong. I'm real rough with my work, so I think it's nice. The wood contrasts, like, you know, the wood is so hard and rough, but the paper is so delicate. So it's like I can be as rough as I want on the wood, but I have to be delicate with the paper. And I really, really love this painting. I actually just finished it. It had so much movement, and as I was building it, this little woman kind of came up here, and she was like kind of looking like she was walking through this little graveyard, and it reminded me so much of like all the wonderful things she passed going through Louisiana. How I always say Louisiana is so crazy, even their trees don't grow straight. So I just think that like this just had such a strong feeling, and it really it meant a lot, because when the little woman appeared, she kind of looked like somebody my best friend Treasure, and kind of like Louisiana always a treasure. And it kind of just had this little feeling, so I kind of went with it and filled in all the different little crosses and stuff, kind of like she's going through the little graveyard on her way home, just walking. There's a lot of good movement, and in this one I just feel that I use so many different layers of paper. You can kind of see where the wood is exposed in some parts, but I think that it's got like a nice like contrast between the wood and the paper, and it gives a really good strong feel, and all the colors just really work together. Like the palette just kind of came together. This is a really, really, really bright green, so I kind of had to kind of water it down a bit in some spots, but I really, really like the way that all the movement in the water, icy water, and all these different parts. I think it's just very, very moving piece to work on, because it just all started flooding together.
So you have 2 children, but I'm sensing that each piece you create is almost a child.
I really.
You feel very attached.
I feel,
to them.
yeah, they're just, they comfort me, and I just, I don't know how to describe the feeling whenever I'm done with a really, like this, it just came together. I kept working on it and working on it, and I wanted to use some more of the silk screen stuff, so I did it, and when I did it was just like instantaneous. That was it. They looked like little trees, and then she popped up, and I just kept going. And this piece right here took me about 2 weeks, because it has a lot more of the texturing and the different papers, and I tried a bunch of different papers on this one besides just the tissue.
Well, you've had other shows here at Beaumont, haven't you?
I've had a show at High Street Gallery, and I've also been in a group show. I've been in a bunch of group shows over at the art studio. I've been in like the Connect show, and I've been in the member show twice, the jury show, and I've showed in Louisville, Louisiana as well at one of their galleries, the
Now,
111
didn't you also
gallery.
show at the art museum downtown?
Oh no, I haven't shown at the art museum.
Well, this is very exciting work, and I'm very glad you're going to be here in December.
Well,
And I
thank
hope
you
you
so
all
much
will
for
come out
having me.
and meet Gina and see her work in person, and listen to her, ask her questions, and experience it. You really need to experience this art. And that will be Thursday, December the 3rd, starting at 5 o'clock until 9 o'clock. And everyone here in the building will be open, as we do every first Thursday. And her work will be on display throughout the month of December until the following first Thursday, which will be January the 7th. So we hope you come out, and we look forward to seeing you and visiting you. Thank you very much for watching.